Well, I'm Master Trooper Hughes with the Indiana State Police. My wife and I, Belinda Hughes, we started the Interlock support group in Muncie. The way that we found out about it, autism was, I was deployed to Iraq in 2003. My wife had sent me a letter stating that I had a son. I have autism. I didn't know what autism was. None of my friends knew what it was. Nobody around me knew what it was. Everybody had different answers. So I actually called my wife one day on a satellite phone to try to find out what was going on, what is autism. And in the middle of that, we ended up having a firefight. It was just one of those situations that even then I couldn't find out information that I wanted to find out. So I got home from deployment. We did get the diagnosis of autism. And where do we go from here? The internet is always worst case scenarios. And we reached out for information. We got a little bit of information here and there, but there's nowhere that we could go and say, what do we do now? So we talked to some of the teachers, we talked to special education people. Muncie Community Schools are fantastic because they got a bunch of parents that have children with special needs together. And from that, we developed friendships and said, we need to start something here. So we started the Interlock support group. What we do is we raise money to help provide money for special education classrooms for families that can put in for a grant, so we can help buy things that insurance can't purchase. Something like a weighted blanket which helps a child to sleep, that may be $1,000. Most families can't afford that. So what we do is raising funds here, organizing things here in Muncie. In Central Indiana, we have people that we help up in Marion, Indianapolis, down Anderson, down Richmond. We try to help as many families as we can. And so we try to offset those costs so the families don't pay that whole cost by themselves. So what we do is we have an annual walk. We have a golf outing now in the fall that we get together and we try to raise funds for this. We've got a book called Facing Autism in Muncie, which tells stories of local Muncie families of how they found out about autism and how they deal with autism. So these are our families, this is our community. And so we're really trying to reach out and give that information to the public. You make that diagnosis, it's not the end of the world. Some families used to what we call bunker up and just stay home and not pick their child out because they didn't want the public to criticize the parenting and that nature. It's not a parenting issue, it's just autism. And so we decided we're going to reach out and really help families. And so that's why we do what we do. There used to be support groups in the area. They had kind of petered off, and there really wasn't one for Muncie. The one in Anderson had about 3 or 4 people going to it at that time, and it just wasn't helping all the families that could have been helped. And so that's why we do this. This is the public awareness. We have games, we have vendors who provide services, items that you may need, and even some that really don't relate with autism, but they have a family member on the spectrum. And so we really reach out to the community. Mayor Dennis Tyler's been phenomenal help. When he was a state senator, he was on the Autism Commission and truly helped us and blessed us by helping us with this and getting the information out. And we grow every year. And as you can see, we're more than 3 or 4 people now. This is the Muncie community getting together and helping others.
Yeah, it literally looks like there's a lot of cohesiveness in this program. So like, how is that getting everybody together and getting all that?
You know, this is this is like a family reunion. We see people from years ago that we haven't seen in a long time. People may not come to the monthly meetings. We have a meeting every month, and it's the first Thursday of every month. We take a break during the summer because there's so many activities. But it's at 6:30 at Storr Elementary School, and we do basically a support group meeting that we provide information on what do you do if you need services. You know, these are different organizations that have services in these areas, and we try to help the local families. So that's what we do, and that's why we're out here.
Yeah, I had a lot of questions, but you covered all of them.
Oh, I try to help out as much as I can.
Well, I guess, just kind of explain who you are and why you're involved with Interlock.
Okay. Dennis Tyler, Mayor of Muncie, and I got involved with Interlock a number of years ago and through Belinda Hughes when I was a member of the Indiana General Assembly as state representative representing Muncie. And my wife and I and my family have been out here every year that they've been doing this program out here, and it's just a great program for family and friends and loved ones to come together and share and care stories and help each other out and reach out to each other that are dealing with a family friend or loved one that's on the autism spectrum.
And why did you get involved with this?
Well, the more people talk about it, the more they understand that we truly have an epidemic of autism spectrum, not just in our community in the state of Indiana, but all over the country. And people need to recognize that, and we need to hope that science and people will come together to work together to find a cure. If you don't know somebody or don't have a family member or a friend or loved one on the spectrum, you have no idea the difficulty that it presents to your family, for the child or person that's on the spectrum, for them to just to try to communicate, to say mom or dad or thank you, or I have a headache or I have a stomach ache, makes it very difficult. And then for the loved ones and that are trying to care for them, it's just as difficult, because many times they can't figure out what is wrong with them, and it's just a horrible place to be in. And hopefully in the next few years, we've made great strides over the last 4 or 5 years. Hopefully in the next 4 or 5 years, maybe we can begin to find a cause and cure.
What have you tried yourself to help the Muncie community out?
To be more aware of people with disabilities, and to appreciate what their families and them are going through, and to try and create more awareness and more opportunities for people with disabilities in our community. City Hall on the 3rd floor, as you're coming into my office, we have an entire wall up there that we call the Wall of Honor, and it's pictures and drawings of people on the autism spectrum and people with disabilities that they've created for us. We have another wall up there that has a huge blanket that is the autism puzzle, that just simply says until all the pieces fit. We do everything we can as a community to try and bring awareness to these issues, and we believe as we bring awareness that it brings the opportunity for discovery of cures and opportunities.
We talked to Mr. Hughes earlier, and he said
Yes.
this thing has just grown exponentially.
Oh, it has.
What's it like being able to see this morph into this little small project, having kids come root for it?
Well, I'm so proud when I see literally hundreds and hundreds of people show up from what we just had here a few years ago. I guess the challenging part of that is that it tells us that we have more and more people daily coming onto the spectrum. But again, the great part about it is, if you look at all the different programs that we have in our community, many communities don't have anywhere close to the amount of programs that we have. And we have so many programs and opportunities. If you just show up in here and start asking questions, somebody can usually point you in the right direction to begin to get you some help and assistance. And it's as Willis and Belinda, they're so deeply involved in this because of their child that when you bump into a family or get to know a family that has a child on the spectrum, it moves you. Yeah.
So where do you see kind of the future? What's the next big goal?
The next big goal for me, and I'm sure with anybody that deals with this, is getting a cure recognized. You just saw in the paper the other day, more people are realizing that this bogus determination a few years ago that autism was created through the vaccination programs. We learned years ago when I first went on the Commission on Autism, when I served in the Indiana General Assembly, that just wasn't true, but there wasn't enough information getting out to the public, and now there is. Somehow, some way, we have to fund and invest in the research to begin to find a cause. And once we find a cause, we'll be able to find a cure. Some of it has got to be hereditary. We have so many boys. If you track the gene through their father, and then boys being born with it, and there's got to be something else added to that part of that spectrum that hopefully we can begin to understand. And I know a lot of people don't like it and don't agree with it, but I honestly believe that's where some of the stem cell research and that can be very productive. And as you've seen more and more involvement in that over the last 4 or 5, 6 years, I think that's where we're finding some of the opportunities to begin to deal with some of these issues.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for taking the
Thank
time.
you.
Let's
Absolutely. Thanks for what you guys are doing. Yeah. You doing this for a class, are you?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yep.
That's good. Well, what's the class?
News 233.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so we have to come up with like different stories about autism and put it together. It's actually going to go on the website, so.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, when you get it up and it's done, let me know and send me a link to it.
Okay.
So maybe I could download it. Maybe we could figure out a way to transfer it over to the City of Muncie's website.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
cool. Yeah.
We'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Did you see the booth over there on the Facing Autism book?
Oh, no, we did not.
yeah,
Yeah,
we-
we
yeah.
took a picture of it, but.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, that book was a special program that they did in Muncie last year. That was just amazing. And my son and his wife both have.
Who you are and why you guys are here today.
We're the Vaught family. This is Anthony, Jeremiah, Mindy, and Brady. We're here because we have a 6-year-old son that is diagnosed with autism. And we believe in what Interlock is doing. And it's been an amazing part of our life since we got the diagnosis with Jeremiah.
Is this your first time you've been here?
3rd year. Yeah.
3.
Is this kind of the only thing you do for like autism awareness, or are you guys involved with other programs?
This is the only organization that we support because everything stays here locally through Interlock for children with autism.
And then he also does the therapeutic writing. It's through Spur, awesome program, and it's a volunteer program as well.
So you guys you created Team Jeremy.
Team Jeremiah.
Has that been for your whole 3 years, or did you start off as like a part with somebody else and then branch off into your own thing?
It's been Team Jeremiah ever since we started.
Why did you feel like this was the best way to?
But I did want something
Why
for
did you choose
Jeremiah.
Because we found we were totally distressed when we got the diagnosis because dealing with a child with autism is difficult. We found Interlock through the Muncie school systems, and from that point forward, they did everything they could to help us not be as stressed, parents with special needs stressed like we were. So we fell in love with Interlock and Muncie school systems.
And the AMC Theater.
AMC Theater as well, because they do the Interlock Awareness movies once a month. And that was the first time that we got to be in a place with other kids that have autism because they do sensory awareness, sensory friendly movies.
Well, it looks like we're
Yeah.
wrapping up, but thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Have fun.
Thanks. You ready to walk?